Oh,
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Act appropriately. Wait till I for that.
Okay. Let's wait for a couple of minutes while folks join in.
yeah.
And
I'm gonna
I am curious,
host.
what all you have been doing up after DevRelCon Prague?
Regaining my voice has been top of the list.
I have been furiously testing since then. Like it's been what a week now? Yeah, like negative so far. So I'm happy to say
same.
that.
I'm just
Same.
practicing karaoke.
I did have a slight moment of nervousness the next morning where I was like, wait a minute, oh, no, where's my voice? Oh yeah, it was karaoke.
All good. Yeah.
Yeah.
As expected. Yeah. But I believe Harshil didn't want to talk about karaoke on this stream.
I did not. Did I say karaoke? I meant
So we already broke the
DevRelCon.
first rule. We broke the first rule of the stream. What is this?
We're getting the mistakes out of the way.
Alright.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Good.
All right, we got people tuning in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in. And we are excited because I personally like doing, things where we can see people. So I was kind of happy that Twitter Space wasn't working today and kind of sad as well. Because then I get to see all my friends online,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you for adjusting and turning from Twitter Space to joining me on live stream. So perfect. All right, we got Sebastian in the chat. Sebastian saying, "Hey, Sebastian, thank you for joining in." All right, so we were gonna talk about our experiences around DevRelCon Prague, but before jumping into that, let's start with the introduction. So who wants to go first?
Ramon is next to you. Let's go.
I was gonna say, please, not everyone, not at once. Okay. All right,
I'm just telling people to do stuff, so that's
fair. Hi, my name's Ramon, pronouns he, him. I'm living in Vienna, in Austria, developer advocate at Suborbital, developer educator on the side, and been in tech for 12 years, loving it, having a good time, and had a wonderful time at DevRelCon. That's my absolute mess of an introduction. Can I point out the next person?
Sure.
So we will go clockwise to Floor.
Mm-hmm.
I always love when people say clockwise because I can't actually read analog clock. So
Oh my God, I'm
I do
sorry.
know how it turns though.
You missed the part where I went for about a minute. Yeah.
That's totally fine. Hi, my name is Floor. I'm a staff developer advocate at Ivan.io. I always describe Ivan as, we host and we maintain all of your favorite open source data tools without exploiting the projects or the maintainers. I'm based in the Netherlands, but not in Amsterdam. I always think that you need to say that because otherwise everyone will just assume. I loved a picture that Harshil put up with a windmill. I was like, "You were in the Netherlands when?" Turns out before we knew each other. So Ramon and I, we know each other for a while now because we used to do meetups and conferences and all that kind of stuff together, and also work in the same co-working space. My pronouns are she, her, and Nancy is next.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you see that? That was wrong.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, this is Nancy. So I work at Gitpod. I'm a DevRel at Gitpod, and Gitpod is a cloud development environment. It's kind of easy to develop with cloud CDEs. I'm based out of India. And so interestingly, I just knew Raymond through Pauline, but then we got to know later that we know each other in DevRelCon. That's the thing about in-person conferences. And that's really good. I really loved DevRelCon. And Flora and I, we met over a coffee chat. And I was so happy when I met her finally in person. And I just became friend with Harshil in the conference. So yeah, I got a lot of friends.
Awesome, and I guess I am the last one. So hey everyone, this is Harshil. I work as a developer advocate at Contentful. It's a composable content management platform. I'm not gonna go much into it right now, but we do a lot of stuff. Do check out my Twitter. I hope it stays there for a long time. Anyways, but yeah, I met Ramon through a common friend, that's Jessica Ross. If you don't know her, she is an amazing person. And we met in person for the first time in London at a conference. And with Floor, I did a Twitter space where again, that was kind of an impromptu Twitter space. I was asking questions about career development for developer advocates, and Flo suggested of doing a Twitter space, and that's a different story altogether. And that was a lot of good learning for me. And again, I met Nancy at DevRelCon, Prague, and it was really fun to make new friends over there. And I have a lot of things to say about DevRelCon Prague, and this is what we are going to talk about in the stream. So let's get started. I want to throw this question first to Ramon, because you were, if I'm not wrong, a bit involved with very closely with organizing. So I would like to know, if you can give a quick introduction about DevRelCon and share some things over there.
Okay, all right. I was not ready to define, like, I mean, defining DevRel is difficult enough as it is. Now I have to define DevRel. No, I'll give it a try. So DevRelCon is a conference for people to meet and talk about developer relations, competencies, where things are headed, the state of the industry and all that. And essentially, this was my first one in person. My involvement was originally going to be one of the lead organizers, Matthew, and I run a DevRel Book Club podcast, and we were supposed to do a live recording on stage of the podcast with somebody, but as things ramped up, since it was the first DevRelCon in a while, we decided to hold off on doing like a full reading of a book, and instead sort of hold more impromptu live recorded conversations with folks in the hallway. And so my involvement then became social media. So all of the cringe was from me that you all saw on Twitter. And that was a lot of fun, a lot more work than I anticipated. Like I spent a lot of time on Twitter. Turns out that tweeting all day can be a bit of work. I was surprised by that. You have to, pay loads of attention and get the vibe and all that. So it was a good experience. And so 2-day conference, single track, 12-ish speakers, something like this. I could be wrong. I am pulling the number out of thin air, going by. Sorry, did you have the number, Nancy? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just checking.
Oh yeah, thank you. You okay? Fair. Yes, but so we had some talks on stage. We had some conversations. We had some parties here and there, and just all generally a good vibe and a good time. Did I miss something? Cool.
I don't think so. It's a very elaborate summary.
That's me, elaborate.
I was very happy though that I was single track this time around. The last time I was at DevRelCon was in 2019 when it was in person in London, and it was multi-track. And for me, multi-track is just so hard because I really I hate making those decisions. And it was just great that everybody was in the same room. Everybody had the same sort of audience or amount of people sitting in the room. And that's been really, really nice.
Wonderful. The way I described DevRelCon to my friends is like a place where people like me who like to help other people come together, discuss our problems, find solutions together, and then just have some fun. I didn't mention karaoke. Explicitly, I didn't mention that.
It's too late.
Yeah, that's how I describe it.
I mean, when I had to explain, sorry.
Go ahead, Fleur.
When I had to explain to my family that I'd be away again, because they were like, "Oh, we know when conference season is. You tell us all the time. It's like September and October. Why are you gone in December?" And I was like, no, but this is different. This is my people, all my people in the same spot.
It was interesting because the energy felt different. Your usual conference, you'll have a handful of DevRel folks. Now, I'm not saying that they are that you can generalize that to such an extent. But the vibe was certainly different. And one actual way that I felt that I felt it hit for me was that a lot of these people that I met at DevRelCon, I'd known either for years, either from previously, like knowing Flor from Vienna, meeting you, Harshal, in July for the first time, but also meeting loads of folks that I've known from the internet for ages. It felt like I've never been to a high school reunion, but it kind of felt like one. In a good way. In a good way. I didn't have to lie about what job I was doing or who I was married to, but like, you know, it was a really fun and very inquisitive vibe, and I really liked that.
Yeah. For me, like, it was a very different conference because we have to admit that it was a different conference. Like, a lot of people who really loved talking to each other, connecting with each other were there. And yeah, I really loved the fact, I'm just spoiling it because I really love the fact that when every speaker was giving a talk and we were just supporting each other, like we were standing, there was a standing ovation, and that was really different. I never experienced that. So yeah, it was really different for me. Yeah.
Nancy, could you please elaborate on what you mean by that standing ovation and what that was all about? Because it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like just supporting each other, like each speaker when they were coming. And I remember like there were speakers, like I remember they were quite nervous. And I was like, it's going to be fine. We have the most supportive audience here. They are like super cool. They're just going to stand and clap for you. So yeah, it was different. It was totally, the whole vibe was different.
So as a speaker, because so you know, like my excuse for going to DevRelCon was like, I have a backup talk, like so my services might be needed. Turns out they were needed. And as a speaker, this standing ovation before your talk is just amazing. You feel completely pumped with like energy, like positive energy. I actually took a picture from the stage when I got the standing ovation, because I was like, I need to show my mom. She's never gonna believe this. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm so gonna introduce this to conferences where I will MC. We used to, so I heard of this thing when I was at React Brussels from one of the speakers there, Tejas. He introduced me to doing like a standing ovation or like clapping whenever someone would take a sip of water, because we all know when you're on stage, you forget to drink and your mouth gets dry and all of that stuff. So whenever someone would drink a sip of water, they would get an applause. And so some of the speakers would actually time their drinking to something that they wanted to have an applause on, and it was just epic. But you could also see who, like the speakers that weren't there from the beginning of the day when this was introduced. And they were so confused about this seemingly like random applause. So that was kind of funny too. But generally, I think that's it's really nice way to sort of like get that energy back in the room too. Yeah.
Well, I did not know about shipping the water and clapping. That's interesting. I love that idea as well.
And
sorry, go ahead.
Harshal, please. This is your show. I'm here to support. Please.
I was just gonna that we got a question in the chat. It's like standing ovation before you speak, but is it genuine? I really love this question.
I'd love to jump on it if I may.
That's a good
so
question.
Not to be overly typical DevRel answer, but define genuine, right? Because like what we're doing is, we are excited for somebody to come on stage. We're excited to be at a DevRelCon. We're excited for them to share their knowledge. We've seen the talk. We've seen what they're going to do. We've talked to these people, either in the hallway or seen them around. We are genuinely excited for them to come on stage. If anything, we're just, adding an extra bit of support, an extra bit of like enthusiasm. We are expressing it in a different way. Yeah. And this is what I like about it, because a lot of conference going, especially if you've been going to them for ages, right, is that you get into kind of like a routine of like a muscle memory of sorts, right? You're used to closing the laptop, clap, 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 let the talk happen, ask your questions, clap, 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 go back, right? But then like adding these new mechanisms to it. They kind of create a different vibe. They create a different experience. And so, like, is it genuine? I think so. You know, at least from my side. Sorry, I went on a ramble there.
I just have something to say about this. I remember there was I didn't remember the talk, like the exact talk. I mean, it was a talk by Brandon, and it was all about empathy. And there was a part in which he mentioned that, like when every speaker is coming up there, it would be nice if we can just, we can listen to that person. It's like, it's kind of supportive. And when I just heard about that talk, like the whole talk, I really retrospected, and it was genuine. Like every time I stood for someone, I was feeling that, okay, what if I was there on the stage? I would love to have this support. I would love that people hear me up. I would love that people see all the prep which I did. And I know, like, before each talk, you're in the washroom and you're just prepping that, hey, you can do it. So yeah, I mean, I think it was genuine from my
yes, power posing, like Ramon just did.
Flo, you were on the receiving end of this. What was your experience?
Yeah, I felt really hyped up, and actually, someone on Twitter too asked me that does it feel good to get the standing ovation before your talk rather than after, because you haven't done anything yet. And I don't think you have not done anything yet. Like, you have prepared your talk, you get over yourself, you get over your nerves, you get over all of that to stand on stage. Even, I said, for DevRel people, because I think we all assume that because we do this for a living, where we don't have any stage fright anymore, but that's sadly very, very, very far from the truth. So I do think you have done a lot already before you even enter the stage. So for me, it was great energy. I got great energy from it.
Wonderful. And since we are already talking about the things that we really liked in the conference, I am curious, like, what were the other things that you really enjoyed in the conference, or what were the things that you would do in an event or a conference that you would organize?
Is that for me, or like?
It's for everyone.
There was a silence. Okay, everyone was thinking, I guess.
So these are things that we would take away as organizers. Is that correct?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. This, I mean, if I may, don't wanna be the one to always go first, but like, I think one thing that I love about organizing events and going to them is that you get to pick up a hodgepodge of different aspects of the conference that you like, that you then bring to your own, and then you introduce them to more folks, right? Things like having sanitary products in the restrooms that folks might not have access to, this sort of thing, like making these things accessible, thinking about accessibility and this sort of thing. And there was a bit of a concern from the conference itself that we had, like, the stage, like, we didn't know there was gonna, so sorry, we had the stage and like directly behind it, like one of these, like, not fake, but like, a wall, right? One of those walls that you pull out, right? And a door. Like, originally that wall was not going to be there, right? So it's just going to be, there was going to be like pretty much no hallway, which of course like does away with the hallway track. And I actually kind of found this compelling because I felt like it kept more folks in the talks. Do you know what I mean? Like, it kept more folks like checking out talks. Like, and again, we talked about this briefly, but single track, big fan of single track, because it keeps the topics, like, everybody's on the same topic, which I really like. Of course, logistically, this is more difficult. If you want to have more talks, you need to have more days and that sort of thing. So I understand why folks do it this way. But yeah, I'm a big fan of single track. Definitely. The thing that I am shamelessly stealing is starting each talk with a standing ovation. Like, this is just amazing. Just being able to give someone that appreciation right from the start is super cool. One thing that we did as organizers as well was hold mini interviews for folks. For example, we and it's something that I only kind of came on it's sort of like that sort of came on ad hoc. So originally we were going to do mini episodes of the DevRel Book Club where we would ask folks like, what's a book that affected them? But halfway through, I also learned that Matthew, the lead organizer, wanted to do the DevRel origin stories, which which were, short introductions for folks who are looking to start out in developer relations, and get pardon me, start out in developer relations and sort of get advice from folks who might be interested in it, who have been in it for a while, and how they got in and what advice they would impart. And so that was something that I really enjoyed doing as well, sort of like recording that vibe, pure, unfiltered from the conference. I really liked as well, and it's something I might want to imitate later on. So yeah, that's me.
I'm just gonna go next. I love that origin stories too, especially because Ben Greenberg also mentioned it in his talk, right? That right now, and sort of like this time of sort of a downturn, that it's extra important to go back to why was your DevRel team created in the first place, and like how can you sort of relate to that story when you're communicating what impact you're having as a business unit. And so the origin story is looking at you as a person being in this industry for a while, and what got you here in the first place. I think it's a super fun thing. What I really loved about the conference is actually something that Ivan has done together with DevRelCon organizers, is supporting a couple of people on a diversity scholarship to attend the conference. So travel and accommodation taken care of, and then DevRelCon themselves, they gave tickets away. And I always love when conferences are up for doing these kind of things, because it just opens up the space for multiple people to join who could otherwise maybe not. So yeah, just wanted to mention that one, that I'm just so excited that we were able to do that.
Yeah, so I'm the next one, and I was the one who got the diversity scholarship. And yeah, I mean, I was having a talk with my friend, about this whole thing, and I really feel like the scholarship, it's kind of important, because like few people, they just miss out, like because of different time zone. And I really missed out meeting few people. I really wanted to meet Floor in person, like wanted to meet a lot of other DevRels in person, and I was so happy that I could make it up to this conference. Although getting visa was really tough. Harshal must be knowing about it because he's from India. He might have gone through all these hardships. Yes. So yeah, I mean, that was really, really cool. And yeah, like for me, I think DevRelCon was super important. And I discussed this with many folks as well, because I just joined as a DevRel like 6 months back. Before this, I was an engineer, and like a DevOps engineer, and I had like no clue what is it about. And because DevRel is like a huge space, and yeah, there is no definition for DevRel yet, I guess. Like you can't define it in just single line, and it was kind of tough for me. But coming to the DevRelCon and seeing all these talks, I could just understand that, okay, this is a very big area with a single focus, but there are so many people with different skills, and they're just helping, they're just helping their organization. It could be the marketing division, the engineering division, the sales division, but the intention is one, but how they do it, I mean, because each person has different skill set. Like someone, let's say Floor is good in giving, like she really loves giving talks, or let's say I really love writing content. So it's like everyone has the superpower, but they can use it for just one intention. And I really love this about DevRel. And I could get this confirmation, or we can say that I strongly feel it now after the DevRelCon, like meeting a lot of folks. So that this was, I can speak a lot. I can speak for an hour. So I'm just going to shut. And let's move to the next question. Yes.
All right, I'm just going to throw the next question to you, because since you are kind of new to the DevRel ecosystem, I'm curious to know, and this is a question that is in the chat as well, like, which is your favorite talk? And it has to be only one.
That's a tough one. All the best.
Nancy, you are the first one to go.
Am I the first one? Oh, okay. That was the toughest one. Okay. That's really tough. That's seriously tough because I really loved a lot of talks. Because like every talk was about different things. One was about community, the other one was about let's say the CFPs. But one thing which has really impacted me, because one thing which I really retrospected about was, I think, Ben's talk about origin story, because I was struggling a lot, like for a just because I have these questions, like I'm an overthinker. So I had this question, like, what is happening? What do I need to do next? And blah, blah, blah. But, like just thinking about this one question, that what's your origin story? What's your team's origin story? Just thinking about this one question helps a lot. Like, what's my origin story of getting into DevRel? Like, why did I even join Gitpod as a DevRel engineer, and why my team was formed in Gitpod? So these questions really helped me. Like the answer to these questions, yeah, that really helped me, because now I can think clearly that what can I, like, how can I enable my team the best? What could be the best I could do so that it enables the marketing division, the sales division, engineering, and how, like, even for the personal growth, this question was really important. So I really loved Ben's talk.
All right. One thing that I want to mention to the others is you cannot select the shift talk.
That's good, right?
Ben gave 2 talks, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Sorry, carry on.
Anyone who wants to go next? Okay, so.
I will go next. I also feel like the person asking the question, if they went to DevRelCon, I want to hear their favorite too. I think that's only fair. If they're making us choose, yeah, I want to echo what Nancy said. Like, it's really hard to pick one favorite because there were a lot of really great talks on different topics. And I'm terrible at calling favesies. I'm gonna mention David G. Simmons' talk, just because that is the one talk that I really needed to do some more with. So David's talk was very much about how at Startree they're figuring out all of the sort of like the enablement of speakers. So and people that are inside the DevRel team and outside the DevRel team that don't want to do public speaking, make sure that they have an easy way to see at a glance like what kind of CFPs are open, and sort of tracking that whole process of submitting to conferences, and tracking, sort of like building that sort of thing of having a sort of speaker bureau or something. We have something similar at Ivan, where Francesco, I want to shout out to my colleague Francesco, builds Speakers Corner, where people can also submit their abstracts. They get feedback from people that are active in a Speaker Corner, which is a lot of DevRel folks, and then a lot of people from other departments too. And it's sort of it's common practice to do a rehearsal with your colleagues before you actually deliver the talk live. And this is just a fantastic vehicle. I've really, really appreciated being able to rehearse my talk. And for an audience that is probably at the same sort of level as my audience is going to be at this conference, it's made my talks a lot better. I've gotten so much inspiration from listening to other people's talks, even if I couldn't go to the actual live talks. And so David's talk was really like, oh, how to take that, what we already have, and professionalize it further. So that's why I'm picking David's talk. Sorry, everyone else. I love everything. I wrote a blog post about most every talk, but that one was just very actionable for me.
Yeah. I just want to add one thing. I'm sorry, Roman. Like, I think this question is about what really impacted you more than what because like why did you attend? Because for me, I was a newbie, so obviously Ben's talk really impacted me the most. Although there were like good tracks of community as well, but I think it's most about the impact. The question. I'm sorry, Harshal, I changed the question. Yeah,
That
Raymond,
actually makes a lot of sense.
I made it easy for you, Raymond.
Thank you, because this is something that came to mind as well, because the picking a talk that really stood out to you and that stayed with you afterwards has such a there's it's been what, just over a week since the conference, and so feelings are going to change over time, and like things that come to mind. Ben, fantastic speaker. If like one big takeaway that I took away, like aside from being so open and vulnerable, like the slide, "This is not your usual sponsor talk," like he wasn't kidding. My goodness. um and I think it was Sebastian who mentioned Don's talk. That's one that particularly stood out to me as well. Don spoke about like the neural, how our neurological systems react to the work, or how they interact with the work that we do on a daily basis. And how he posited some things, laid out some hypotheses, and then backed these up with his experience and evidence. And this is something that I really going on a journey of like appreciating and at the same time calling out oxytocin and what it does to us and the work that we do. One funny little thing that I told him that I took away from that was a reinvigorated desire to look into the science that I did in my studies. I haven't finished my degree yet, but I wrote my bachelor's thesis on like, teaching children and like the science behind that. And to code, that is, teaching children to code. And so like that was that sort of like drive to understand how it is that we work as human beings from at least from a fundamental value of like the work that we do. That was something that stood out to me in particular. But like everybody else, there were just so many nuggets from stuff that people said. Kevin, for example, helped me really understand demos as a whole. Like I hadn't heard of the concept of a kitchen sink demo, and the case for smaller ones as well. I just accepted demos as demos. And I know I'm cheating. I'm saying that I have lots of favorite talks, but like, it's a hard question. I'm sorry. Yeah, there were just like so many nuggets of wisdom from the entire conference itself, and there's stuff that I'm leaving out that it was just overall fantastic, and I can't wait for you all to see the recordings.
Definitely. For me, again, I'm gonna kind of echo what everyone said, but the one thing that I feel I resonated a lot with was Kevin's talk around demos, because I have been working a lot and trying to create a lot of demos for the community, and the concept of atomic designs in when you create a demo was simply amazing. And I was like, this is something that I can learn a lot and I can implement in my demos, so that I don't create a very complex demo for the community. It's a small pieces of demos which then turn out to be a bigger complex demo, but in the same space, it's a small piece of code which people can just reuse on their own. So it's a small demo, but again, it can be converted into a big complex demo as well. So that is one of the talks I really kind of resonated a lot. And I would also like to mention Olena's talk about public speaking and keeping our nerves calm, because it's so important. Like I have been on the stage and I always have those jitters, and I'm like I always try out different things, but the science that she also explained with all those practices was really interesting. So definitely, if you are giving a talk, you should check out all those tips that she has mentioned, and you should definitely try it out before your talks.
Yeah.
Honestly, Olena's talk should have gone first, or should have been at the speaker's dinner so that everybody could prepare. I definitely heard someone behind me trying the breathing exercise that she proposed, and I was like, oh, it's a bit much. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't the entire room? Because I definitely did.
I did that too as well. Yeah, I just want to add one more thing, Harshal. Like I want to say like about the Kevin talk as well. Like that's one talk which impacted me work wise, because even I'm working a lot with demos right now, and the whole talk, like when it is out, I think it's going to help a lot of folks to at least think like how you can design the demos in much efficient way. I also asked a lot of questions to him. I think he should just post a blog about it. It's going to be super, super helpful. If it is already there, it's good. But yeah.
And we got a follow-up question, which I don't want to ask, but I have to ask. What was your karaoke performance?
So wonderful.
Do we get one question we can abstain from?
Well, I mean, we can give it back to Sebastian because Sebastian and Maddie did a wonderful performance too together. So I think like we can just hand it back to him. I have recordings if anyone is interested ever.
Absolutely not.
I'm happy to share it. Yeah, karaoke was good. I don't know. I'm a big karaoke fan. I don't care if I'm like it brings me so much joy. I wanted to say one more thing though, like one talk. It was not necessarily a talk because it was the Atsushi from Yokohama DevRelCon, which is coming up, and I think the CFP is still open until the end of the month. So if there's people listening, you should maybe have a look at it because what wonderful way to travel to Japan if you've never been. But he mentioned that some of the like sort of the things that he had organized or the stuff that you will find in Yokohama when you go there is what he described as Comic-Con for technical books. And I was gone for the rest of his sort of Yokohama pitch because I was like, that sounds fantastic. I want to organize something like that in EMEA. So I'm looking to do something like that where we'll invite some writers of technical books and they'll have, their stand with their books and they can do signing of the books and, panels on how to even become a technical, writer for a technical books. Or I sort of want a reading session too, one with the ones where there's fictional books in the bookstore where you read from your book and then you read, I don't know. I think it'd be epic. So, not necessarily something that I learned about DevRel, but something that I really, really wanted to do because I was just so excited about this idea.
Thank you so much for clarifying it because it didn't click until now that you explained it, Floor.
So Ramon, do you want to collab? We haven't done a conference in a while, so
it's been a good long while. I'm down. I love the idea of and also just to give like technical writing more of the stage it deserves.
Yeah.
Because my goodness. Yeah. Cool. No, I'm down.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely gonna attend that. Hopefully help you organize as well. But I just want to pop out the link that Kevin has already done a blog, so you can go out on this link and check out the blog. And for folks who would like to submit the CFP for DevRelCon Yokohama, this is the link that I'm on shared. So go ahead and submit the CFP. All right. So moving forward, I have one more question for you all. So we learned a lot of things at DevRelCon Prague, right? I'm curious, have you already started, implementing some things that you have learned, or is that going to be something that you're going to do for the next year or the quarter? I'm just curious about what are your plans now. Okay, I'll go first. Brittany Walker from my team, she is working on events and she's helping us with organizing the events, with going to events, attending events, and everything around that. And I shared all the things that I learned from David's talk around organizing CFPs and all those things, because we are also in the same state. We have a lot of conference talks already. We have a lot of speakers in our team, in our company, but we don't have a curated list. We don't have a good process for now. And she is already working on it. So I shared all the resources and we have been working on a new process for our team. So David's talk really helped us there. And I'm still waiting on the template to go live because David mentioned that he might share the Airtable template. So if that goes live, we might be able to just use that out of the box. So that's one of the things that I have started working on with my team. I'm curious to know what others are doing.
I think I can go next. Yeah, so because I just gave a lot of thought after the conference, because I had a big flight was of 24 hours or something. So I had a lot of time. So there was this one talk by Matty about the relationship between marketing, DevRel, and engineering. Uh, we should have this great relationship between them, because in the end, as a DevRel, we are so connected with engineering. We have this superpower, like we are connected with, we can understand engineering, we can understand users, we can understand marketing. So yeah, so I'm just going to implement that. Like I've already started doing that, giving a closer look at what's happening in the sales team, what's happening in marketing, developing more relationship between with them, as well as engineering. I know it's tough because you have to just go everywhere, but yes, that's super important. Then there was a talk by Kareen's talk about communities. So yeah, this is kind of a self promotion. So I did a video with Floor. So I'm gonna have a community, Humans of Tech, and yeah, that talk really helped me. Like how can you keep your community happy, and how can you what you can do to grow your community and have a good engaging community. And gratitude is one of the most important thing, like making them feel just make we should be like we should make everyone feel that they're part of community and something is happening, right? Like if everyone is there, we should acknowledge them, acknowledge the efforts. So that's really important for a community. So I'm going to implement that in one of my community, which I'm going to make. Yes, and I'm just thinking about, there's so many things. Kevin talks about demos that I'm already implementing, because I'm working on some Gitpod samples. So yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of things. I'm going to write a blog. I'm going to mention everything there.
Awesome. And because you mentioned Kareen's talk, one thing that I really loved that she mentioned was, get a little bit more from every user. So you're not pushing everyone to do the same thing, but you're trying to get a little bit more, just a little bit more, and get them more engaged slowly into your community, and then have a thriving community. So I really love that part of that talk. Okay, I don't want to talk more. Flo, do you want to go next?
Yes, I'm thinking also, I love everyone in the chat, but also in Twitter DMs who are excited about this Comic-Con for technical book stuff. Thank you. We'll get some people together. Apparently, we're making this happen. That's great. That's really cool. No, and as I mentioned, David's talk really spoke to me. So that's something that I really want to have a look at. I had a really smart comment, and now, of course, I forgot about it because of all of the excitement around the Comic-Con for technical books. So maybe Ramon can go next, and then you can come back to me, and I have regained my smart comment.
Sure. Thank you. By the way, before I forget, Nancy, you got to drop a link, please. We want to see this. We want to see this video when it happens.
Yeah.
So I think like the immediate part to me that stood out, that I started implementing just by pure coincidence of what's going on at work, was Ben's talk went over not just origin stories, but talking yourself up and the work, like communicating the work that you're doing, illustrating, spotlighting, highlighting. There we go. That's the word. Took 4 tries. There we go. Highlighting the work that you're doing. And it's something that I, in my work as an IC, as an individual contributor, am finding that I need to do more. So having it be said to me there, and like I literally had a one-on-one with my supervisor, like the Friday after DevRelCon, where I brought that up. He's like, huh, it's funny you mentioned that, because that's something that I just wanted to talk to you about as well. So that was super cool. But like going further than that, it was a good reminder for me to do a better job of, like, just not just doing the work, but also like, making that work that we're doing more apparent, making being able to measure that in a spoken fashion that has its importance. That's something that in particular stood out to me big time. It was, I mean, overall, it was a reminder that a lot of us are, we spend so much time, like especially the last 3 years, I've spent so much time just like watching like, okay, how do I sound this without sounding weird? Like observing folks live on Twitter, right? And like seeing what folks are doing and all that. So like it was a good reminder to that, we're all human beings, we're all going through similar things. It was a really solid way for me to say like, oh, we are learning similar things, for example, about like remote work, working from home and all this, that it was a good reminder for me to really hunker down and like, yeah, the big takeaway for me was that it was that highlighting and like celebrating wins and that sort of thing, just like I do for others. Like take a step back, do for me as well, because like, people got to know what I'm doing.
I think to your point too, like I think we're really good, all of us, to highlight each other's wonderful work, and then we forget to sort of share what we've been doing. And that's a thing that is, yeah, we see this all the time. I thought about what I wanted to say again. So something that has also, like, I've started doing much more of after DevRelCon is because of Maddie's talk in the end, where he also mentioned to do a little bit more, like, we're all friends. Like, let's do a little bit more of the developer advocate to developer advocate collabs. And so I have scheduled a couple of conversations with people in this sort of industry and just loosely figured out what we want to talk about, and just try and do a couple of streams with sort of like looking at what they do, what I do, the spaces that we're in, and doing some post-prod on that, and like making a little collection of sort of videos or podcasts or whatever it's gonna be like. So I've taken that tip from Maddie to heart and started doing more of that kind of stuff.
Awesome, that's fantastic. And we got a question from Wanpa. He's asking, is anyone planning to attend DevRelCon in Japan?
Listen.
I would love to.
Wait, I got this. Oh my God, I'm failing at this. What Nancy said.
Yeah, I would love to. Japan is so beautiful. I want to do that. I want to meet amazing people again. Yeah, let's see.
True.
I don't know, like Nancy and I, we spoke at DevRelCon also about, sustainability. And I feel like flying all the way there. Like, so I took the train from the Netherlands to Prague to go to DevRelCon, which wasn't without, troubles. There were lots of delays. And eventually I was home a day later than I was supposed to be. But, stuff happens. But also going by train is an adventure, so it's actually something fun. But like flying all the way there for a conference, I don't know if I can sell that to myself, honestly. So if I feel like we need to figure out more engagements while we're there, so I wouldn't just go for DevRelCon. Then there should be more things that I can do while I'm there. But I'm gonna try to submit to the CFP, and then we'll see, right? I don't know. What's the worst that could happen? They could say no. Like, okay. Then I can still get on my high horse and be like, oh, but it's not sustainable anyway. So.
Yeah, it depends on the outcome, right? No. No, it's I think I speak for everybody when I say, like, it'd be super cool. Like I haven't been to Japan since 2015. Spent all of it in Tokyo, so going just a little bit outside to Yokohama would be really, really awesome. Of course, the concerns of traveling too much, like having spending time with family, all that is a rightful concern. That said, whenever I miss stuff like this, I think I'm finally getting to a stage where, like, FOMO. I wouldn't call it fear of missing out. Wouldn't call it JOMO at this point. I still can't do that. Joy of missing out. But I think there's a part of me that's like, I can enjoy it vicariously through others. So if I can't go there for reason XYZ, go, like, seeing, having people go there, having a wonderful time, and coming and telling me all about it, and then I get to, like, get that secondhand joy. Absolutely something that would be cool to do. And of course, seeing getting to enjoy the local community, getting to see what DevRel is like in Japan. I don't know. I when I went there, I went to a RubyConf in Japan, so that'd be super cool. Yeah, it's you know, and I love me a good event. I love me a good DevRelCon, and I think there are lots of DevRelCons happening throughout the year. Can I plug one that we're organizing? DevRelCon LATAM, happening in February. Gonna be online, so sustainability is a little bit less of an issue, but it's cool. It's going to be one day in Spanish, one day in Portuguese, and that's not the only one. There's probably going to be one and I'm only going off the tweet that's pinned. I'm not saying that I have insider knowledge, because I absolutely do not. I promise I don't. Fleur, please, I don't. There's probably going to be one in London later on. There's a DevRelCon India that's being planned. So that's super exciting. And there's one, possible San Francisco / somewhere else in the States. So there are opportunities to get more. Sorry, Fleur, I think I'm leaving one out. Which one could it be?
I don't know. Maybe something that is influenced during the speaker dinner for this DevRelCon. Which was basically like, I really want to go to Tel Aviv, but I need a really good reason. Let's do DevRelCon Tel Aviv. And Matthew from Developer Relations, and Hoopy actually mentioned it on stage, right? So it's going to happen. It's totally going to happen.
It's canon. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So, it'd be so. Short answer. Yeah, I'd love to.
Fantastic.
How about you,
and Kevin, I'm kind of in the same state. I'll submit the CFP, and then we'll see.
Nice. Sorry,
I
Kevin.
think we got the venue for London as well, because that's what Kevin has mentioned in the chat, which is really exciting. I've never been to London in a train, and I think Eurostar is an amazing experience. That's what I've heard from folks. I want to try that as well.
So you come visit me in the Netherlands first, and then we go to DevRelCon jointly. Good.
That sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
All right, we got a few more minutes left, and I don't want to take more of everyone's time. So let's close this on a high note. I want you all to take this opportunity to share anything that you want. It can be an event that you're organizing, or anything that you're working on, anything that you would like to do.
So I think I already did my cheeky plug, which was DevRelCon LATAM. If you speak Spanish or Portuguese and want to come check out some incredible talks, keep an eye out on developerrelations.com and tune in February 9th and 10th.
Perfect. Sorry, my chickens were really loud. For a second, I have no idea what happened. Sort of a war cry. I am one of the organizers now of DevRel Salon in Amsterdam. So if there's anyone listening that is either based in the Netherlands close to Amsterdam, because Amsterdam is not in the Netherlands, or is planning a trip to the Netherlands and want to see if there might be a DevRelCon or DevRel Salon at that same time, hit me up and join the meetup.
I'm sorry. May I ask a quick question? What is DevRel Salon?
Sorry, it is a meetup for developer relations people, community people, or allies. And we usually don't really have a strict program. So I know that there has been talks in the past, and there has been purely networking events in the past. I think we're trying out a couple of different formats, but it's mostly just getting together, because mostly I have the great fortune to be in a big team right now, but sometimes you're the only developer relations person at a company, and it gets really lonely. And it's so great to talk to other people that are equally excited about your really small meetup that was so impactful, even if there was only 20 people. But try and tell that to the people in marketing, because they don't understand how that can be a wonderful event. So yeah, that was a very long-winded answer to your question.
It was perfect. Thank you. Sorry, Nancy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I just want to add like one thing because I forgot to say this. I think one thing, Floor, which we also discussed about the hybrid model. I think it would be nice if we can have hybrid model in the meetups. I just want to say this. Maybe it would be nice if we can have those conferences talk or something which can be impactful. Yeah, and I think I would love to have something in India. So if Matthew or like if anything is happening in India, I would love to volunteer for it and I would love to support if we are having DevRelCon in India. Yeah.
Awesome, and just want to shout out for DevRelCon Japan because Wanpa also mentioned it again. So I don't work for Hoopy, I don't work for developerrelations.com, but I had an amazing time at DevRelCon Prague. So if you get a chance to go to any of the DevRelCons, I would highly recommend you to go because you get to meet amazing folks, you get to make new friends, you get to learn a lot, and yeah, that's the plug that I would want to do over here. That's all I have.
Thank you so much for
Lovely.
setting this up.
Yeah, thank you so
And
much.
for changing from Twitter Spaces as it broke today. Like,
Yeah.
you can't come up
Yeah,
with
can I-
this stuff. It's
Can we give a shout out to Harshal? Like, do I still have space to give a shout out to Harshal? Yeah, please. Bring the emojis in the chat, folks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Love it.
Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for helping me out with everything because I know, again, as you mentioned, Twitter Spaces kind of broke down today, so we had to change the format. We had to do a live stream. But thank you all for joining in over here, and I hope all the viewers enjoyed it, and we'll soon share the recording. And I'm also gonna link all the blog posts because a lot of the attendees and the speakers have written some amazing blog posts around their experiences and their learnings at DevRelCon. So I'm going to also share that in the description so that you can also read about that. Thank you all for joining in and hope you all have a nice day.